Hi all, it's Jebro. This is a recap video of the End of Dragons preview stream that was on Twitch on the 27th of July 2021. All the information that I found the most interesting is in this recap video. It's about 30 minutes long. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. And if you want to pre-purchase the End of Dragons expansion, you can do so by checking out the description below, clicking on the link, and doing the things. If you're not going to use my link, then I urge you to use another content creator's link, an official ArenaNet partner, and give them a little bit of your support. Massively appreciated. Enjoy the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Everyone, welcome to the Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons first look. Beginning now. I'm getting all tingly. The cycle is reborn.
Hi Tyria, welcome to the Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons first look. And Studio Director Colin Johansson. Hi guys.
Already right.
Hey everyone, really excited to be here
handsome.
sharing details about End of Dragons.
Hey Guild Wars community, it's nice to see you all again. It's been a little while. It's nice to be back in the chair.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah.
So let's start your first look right now with the brand new End of Dragons trailer.
Oh, here we go.
There's familiarity in this strangeness. Like a song half remembered, a tune without words to carry it.
Damn, that looks
I know
cool.
you, and yet I don't.
You will soon, little one.
Who are you talking to?
Just an echo in the mist. A possibility.
Look around us. Your children would be trapped in the past, if not for me. Their worlds are carved from the jade that I gave purpose. I promised them a future. A century of progress cannot end this way. I'm not... Cantha's not just a spoke in some grand cosmic wheel.
Would a great innovator give up so easily?
Play ships and fishing!
I won't.
Fishing in the game!
I'll find a way to save us all.
Play ships!
The future is out there. What are we waiting for?
The art style is very different in that trailer to what we've seen before. That's very cool. The cycle is reborn. Is she building dragons?
We hope you liked the new trailer.
The most important familiar face that's going to be accompanying us on our journey into Cantha is Aurene. Aurene's story has become sort of the spine of the Guild Wars 2 story.
Aurene is constantly grappling with her responsibility and how much she needs to do, and her trying to feel that out is going to have repercussions for the entire world.
In this expansion, we have really breathed life into every corner of the world that we could. You know, there are so many little moments throughout the world, moments that touch you, moments that make you laugh, moments that make you cry. You know, this team is so good at just bringing emotions to the surface.
We have so much technology that has improved or has been entirely new since the last time we made an expansion. And as a result, this expansion has some really unique, cool set pieces that I think are going to blow people's minds.
For Shun J specifically, tried our best to make content that hits on all gameplay types, right? Think of it like a vacation island. It's like this beautiful, serene, spiritual, spacious locale that feels both peaceful and not, right? Depending on where you are and what's going on.
So some of the highlights of the Ecovald map are definitely those gargantuan trees, the lake, the rivers that kind of pour into the lake, where you kind of have these underground rivulets and stuff like that, where the player can kind of traverse through there. Definitely those gargantuan trees kind of give you that verticality and freedom of movement we talked about before. So if you've got a sky scale, that's going to feel really cool.
So Siege Turtle is one of the most iconic and memorable creatures from Guild Wars 1 and Cantha. So when we first talked about a mount for End of Dragons, the Siege Turtle immediately made it on the list and quickly got attached to it. Mounts are a defining feature in Guild Wars 2, and with End of Dragons, we wanted to continue that tradition. So the Siege Turtle is our first multiplayer co-op mount.
What?
The Siege Turtle being a multiplayer mount means you'll be able to pick up a friend and ride around together, but we wanted to make sure that both the driver and the passenger had something fun to do.
Flipping chew!
Perfect opportunity to bring new players into the game. Since they can just ride on the back, they don't need mounts previously to enjoy the Siege Turtle. You can pop up your mentor tag and they can jump on the back of your turtle and you can show them around the maps to areas they haven't seen before.
We've been wanting to put fishing in Guild Wars 2 for as long as it's been around. It just always came down to finding the best time and place. When we were building fishing for Guild Wars 2, we looked at our own personal experiences going fishing and found what was the most memorable. And for me, when I went fishing as a kid, I went with my family. And so when we bring that into Guild Wars 2, we wanted to think about how can we make that a multiplayer experience. You can fish off of docks, or we've created skiffs which allow you to fish around the waters of Tyria by taking your fishing boat and exploring with your friends. We wanted the waters of Tyria to feel as authentic as we could and most lifelike as we could to a real fishing experience. And so there are hundreds of different fish for you to discover in Tyria all across the world. There are so many that have been added to the game, and kudos to that first person who finds all of them. End of Dragons has 5 new mastery tracks, including the Siege Turtle, skiffs, and fishing.
Boats!
Each with their own levels of progression for players to discover as they explore Cantha.
That looks paffed.
I'm most excited about the release of End of Dragons.
I really would appreciate clips of this stuff. Really do. Seriously. That would be sick if we can. Be sick.
I'm Chelsea Mills,
Thank you very
and
much.
I'm a senior prop artist. In End of Dragons, we're introducing 16 new legendary weapons, all available on release day.
Legends. Thank you.
This set of legendaries is inspired by the Elder Dragon Areen, who plays a significant role in the End of Dragons
I'm
story.
going to tweet these, and I'm not listening
From
to
our
him.
perspective, we wanted the legendaries to show Areen's journey with the Commander, from the first time you meet her as an adorable little hatchling, to now all grown up as our own Elder Dragon. The precursors represent baby Areen, while the legendaries represent adult Areen.
I'm a Java. You've been playing the game, right? There's loads of stuff. Strike missions and encounters. Here we go.
Hi, I am Cameron Rich. I'm a senior game designer here at ArenaNet, and I act as the lead for the encounters team.
It is these strikes.
For End of Dragon strike missions, we're taking some epic encounters from the story of End of Dragons.
Cool people. Good peoples.
For End of Dragon strike missions, we're doing something new in that we're adding challenge mode difficulty to each strike mission to release with End of Dragons.
Ooh.
These challenge modes will be enabled shortly after launch, and they are designed to give our hardcore players, our existing raiders, something to really sink their teeth into. In addition to the challenge modes, we're also going to be revamping our reward system for strike missions to simplify and standardize them across the game. With End of Dragons creatures and combatants, we're taking a little bit of a different approach with design. One of the common problems that we're trying to address is coming across a creature that's of a high rank that feels like it just has a bunch more health and a bunch more damage. So instead, this time around, you'll see creatures unlock new abilities as they increase in rank. So if you find a creature on the field that's a veteran, it might be using one set of skills. And if you come across it again and it's an elite or a champion, you'll have unlocked some new skills along the way that will hopefully test you and your strengths as a player. I am really, really excited for fans to get their hands on the strike missions for End of Dragons because there's a lot of surprises that we've been able to put into the design. Lots of opportunity to work together with your friends to overcome some really epic bosses.
You're going to hear from past me about Guildhall.
Hey, we said Guildhall. We said Guildhall.
My name is Andrew Gray. I'm the content design lead on Guild Wars 2.
Oh, look at that.
So one of the coolest things about the Guildhall is the location we chose. It is some fine beachfront property in the old Xingje Arena. That was one of the most beautiful maps in the original game, and it's even more beautiful in Guild Wars 2. And it also has a lot of historical relevance because it was the location that the original leader of the Ministry of Purity was
New
defeated
guild
at
hall.
the end of Woods of Change.
New guild hall.
Guild acquisition works similarly to other guild halls in that you go on an expedition. We did build the expedition a little bit differently this time,
I've got
though,
guild
where we
versus
focused
guild on my
more
list.
on smaller encounters. We made, scaling a big cornerstone of it, so that even if you're in with a small group, you can go in there and you can defeat it. It's a lot more encounter focused, so you're fighting individual bosses versus like, wow, that's a lot of enemies on the screen. So my favorite highlight is the amount of water in the space. We deliberately chose an island because we wanted it to pair really well with skiffs and fishing, and it really worked out well. It's just a ton of fun to go around with your guildies, going around on a little fishing trip at your guild hall, like
Thank
without
you,
having to
really.
leave the comfort of your own guild hall.
Keep doing it.
And then also
I
there's
really
a really
appreciate the
large
clips.
guild arena that's right there on the beach. So if you're into like Mai Tai fueled guild battles, like this is the guild hall for you. My favorite part about building the guild hall was honestly just spending time in the area. It felt like I was going on vacation every day because it's so beautiful. But beyond that, when we built the expedition, we decided to build one with a little bit more of a story behind it. You have some familiar characters there, both existing friends and some that you meet along End of Dragons that add a little bit more personality to the acquisition process, and I think players are really going to enjoy that. I'm most excited to see how guild decorators use this space, honestly. I'm always blown away at the amount of creativity, the crazy things that they're able to build in guild halls. And when we built this one, we specifically had them in mind. We wanted to leave lots of space for them to be able to build all of their crazy adventures in there. So I'm looking forward to see what they do with the space that we've made for them. Our elite specializations for End of Dragons are heavily inspired by Cantha. We've dug into some deep lore to truly tie these elite specs into the region. We've also broken a lot of our rules with profession and elite specialization design, and I think players are going to really enjoy the result.
Yeah. So today we're going to give you an overview of the core mechanic changes and weapon and utility skills for the elite spec that we teased a few weeks ago. Afterwards, I'll be joined live by a few members of our development team to talk about what's coming next for Guild Wars 2 in 2021, give you our beta dates, and wrap up today's show.
What? The Virtuoso?
Hi everyone, I'm Carl McLean, a senior combat designer working on elite specializations for End of Dragons. We're here today to preview some of the abilities for the upcoming Mesmer elite specialization, the Virtuoso.
Oh my
Let's
God.
jump right into it.
Oh, shut up!
To begin, let's briefly cover the profession mechanic changes. From the start, you will no longer have access to clones. Instead of creating clones, the Virtuoso will stock a blade on themselves for use with their blade song profession abilities.
There we go.
Phantasms will still initialize, but will stock a blade instead of creating a clone when they finish with their action.
We said this.
We'll have some brief demonstrations of different ways to gain blades during this preview. Now, let's go look at the Virtuoso's weapon, the dagger.
Carl McLean's awesome
The first skill
dagger.
for the Virtuoso's dagger is a consistent projectile attack called Flying Cutter.
Nice.
Instead of a payout of a 3 auto attack chain, any target struck by 3 of the projectiles it launches will receive multiple additional attacks on the 3rd impact. The second skill of this weapon is Blade Call. This ability spreads daggers which pause at their ending point or wherever they collide with terrain, and then return to the Virtuoso for a second attack. If the blades strike an enemy during this ability, you'll stock a blade for your profession abilities. Here you can see a blade stocked above my character's left shoulder. Then stocking a second blade shows another above my right shoulder. Unstable Blade Storm is the third ability, dealing pulsing damage along its path and hurling blades at enemies within its reach.
Mid-range Mesmer
let's
spec.
use some of these stocked blades we've accumulated.
Awesome. There's up to 5.
Blade Song Harmony is the Virtuoso's most accessible blade song, expending each stocked blade separately over a period of time that deals damage to your target enemy. Blade Song Sorrow. Each of your stocked blades readies itself, then launches toward your targeted enemy to strike them simultaneously, while inflicting confusion. We'll rebuild a few of our blades after this by switching to a greatsword, then using Mirror Blade and Phantasmal Berserker. Blade Song Dissonance. Combine all your blades into a single strike that dazes enemies. We'll regain a full set of blades by using the utility skill Blade Renewal. Blade Turn Requiem will block for a short time and deal damage to nearby enemies based on the number of blades stocked.
Look at that shit, look, dude. That looks so good. That elite, that looks
Your heal
good.
skill is called Twin Blade Restoration, which throws
great.
daggers at enemies and grants bonus effects if you hit foes with them.
Thank you, really.
As covered before, Blade Renewal will grant distortion and fully stock all blades that can be used differently for each of the Blade songs. Rain of Blades drops daggers on foes for its duration, punishing enemies that remain in its area. Sword of Decimation is a single impact in an area to strategically immobilize enemies. Psychic Force is an area attack around the Virtuoso that pushes enemies away. And finally, Thousand Cuts, as your elite skill, is a fire and forget line-based damaging ability that requires foes to stay in its narrow path for full effectiveness. So there you have each of the abilities that the Virtuoso can harness for the expansion.
That's nice.
We'll cover the traits another time. We're excited to see how the daggers fly when you get your hands on this burly elite specialization. I've been Carl McLean, and on behalf of ArenaNet and the Skills team, thank you, and we'll see you again soon.
There you go. Look at the image was pointing at the screen. Who drew those flipping lines through the body? I think we need to chat with them. Her voice does not sound like...
Andrew has headed back to keep working on End of Dragons for all of you. Colin has rejoined me, and Josh Davis, our head of live operations, is here as well.
Thanks, Ruby. Hello, everybody. It's been a minute. It's great to be back at the studio again. Just in time to crash this live stream, and I couldn't help myself.
Thank you for crashing. Welcome back.
Existing design constraints.
Josh and Colin, I love you. Let me just hug the screen. I'm touching it.
I think the fact that the Virtuoso is a clone mechanic, which has been, for me, Virtuoso feels like an entirely new profession, and I think you're going to see a similar design approach with all of the other elite specializations in the expansion.
Colin, you want to give us a quick recap?
I would love to recap that.
10 seconds.
All right. So what have we heard about? Canthan region, we've got a storyline, mysterious Dragon Jade technology, creatures and masteries, new elite specializations, new strikes, each with their own challenge mode, a new Canthan guild hall, fishing and fishing boats, we're calling those skiffs, and 2-player mounts. This is the first time we're adding multiplayer mounts to Guild Wars 2. Hey, Path of Fire had mounts. We're going to try having multiplayer mounts with the turtle, and that's really exciting. Fishing and multiplayer fishing with skiffs is a game-wide experience that you can have, and I think that's really exciting too. Our mysterious Dragon Jade technology, you'll find out more about that someday, also has had this approach applied to it. And there's 2 other really big things that we're working on that really play into the story of this expansion. For our world versus world players, alliances is a major feature that folks have been waiting for a long time. And it comes in our End of Dragons timeframe. And it's a big thing that we know is about systemically approaching ways to improve the game forever for our players. And then the other big one we're investing in is our technology. And by investing in taking the game from DX9 to DX11, and a lot of the things that eventually will come with that, we really want to invest in holistically, how do we make Guild Wars a better game, not just with this expansion, but for the future. As a final note from me, though this expansion is named End of Dragons, I want to be abundantly clear, this is not the end of Guild Wars 2. We view End of Dragons as the next big stepping stone for this franchise, and we think the best is yet to come. There is plenty more coming after End of Dragons and Guild Wars 2. We're not going to tell you about any of it today, but we're very excited for you all to get to check it out someday.
For anyone who's tuning in who's not familiar with the feature, Alliances is designed to deliver a more balanced world versus world experience by dynamically creating matchups using guilds,
everyone is watching.
Alliances, which is basically a player-managed collection of guilds, and active world versus world players. This is very different from the current system that we've been using for a number of years that relies on worlds and world linking. And we know this feature is going to have a huge impact on the player experience in World vs. World, and we want to work with our players, with you, to get this right. And this is really why we're going to be releasing it in a beta state in phases. This is going to allow us to get feedback on each element of that system before we make it a permanent addition to the game. We mentioned this on July 2nd, but I want to reiterate, World vs. World is a core pillar for Guild Wars 2, and we wanted to make sure that we delivered something meaty for the game mode, aside from elite specializations with End of Dragons. And this feature is just the first step of many that we have planned for getting World vs. World where we and you want it to be. Now, Alliances isn't the only major feature coming before the expansion. Like Colin mentioned before, he's scooping everything. Well, I guess we already talked about it publicly, but we're working on upgrading the engine from DirectX 9 to DirectX 11. This is a long-awaited and highly requested update for Guild Wars 2. think Ruby can attest to that one. And it all starts with an opt-in beta later this year. This changeover is critical for improving client performance and allows us to start ratcheting up our graphical fidelity, which is a long-term effort that we're very excited about. We plan to start these betas in just a few short months, and we'll be back in August, which is just a couple days away, to talk about those in greater detail. Yeah, my heart's pounding.
Yes.
One final note from me. We do have 4 Elite Specialization beta events planned for End of Dragons. The first 3 of these events will each include 3 of 9 new Elite Specializations. The 4th event is going to include all 9 Elite Specializations and the Siege Turtle. You'll be able to play with the existing Elite Specs, you'll be able to play with the Elite Specs and Siege Turtles in existing PvE content, World vs. World, and in PvP. And just a general note, these betas are available to everyone, even those who are on free-to-play accounts. Now, the big beat here is that the first Elite Spec beta is just 3 weeks away, starting on August 17th, running through August 21st. You'll be able to play with the Virtuoso, which we've got a rundown from Carl on, and 2 more yet-to-be-revealed Elite Specializations.
And as we count down towards those betas, we'll be revealing all of the remaining 8 Elite Specs leading up to each of the betas. And speaking of, here's a little sneak peek at the silhouette of the next Elite Spec that you're going to find out about very soon and get to play in our beta on August 17th.
Pistol Necro?
It looks amazing. I can't wait to talk about it.
That? Interesting.
Oh,
now,
shit!
I feel like that's it, right? Like, Ruby, do we have anything else that we want to talk about
more
today?
things. So, first of all, hey. We've been working on this Arena Elder Dragon statue, and it is finally ready to share with all of you. You can pre-purchase this starting now until August 20th for delivery in January of 2022.
All right, so surely that's everything.
No,
We've covered
no,
the merch, we've got everything done.
No, there's more. There is one thing that we've seen a lot of you asking about. Early in July, early this month, we told you that End of Dragons is coming in, quote, early 2022. And we've been watching all of you speculate about what early means. I am super excited to let you know that the expansion will launch in February, and you will be able to pre-purchase today at 11:20 a.m. Pacific time. That is less than 2 hours away. To help pass the time until then, or maybe make the wait a little harder, I'm going to let you see the pre-purchase bonus items and what you can get with each edition of the End of Dragons. The pre-purchase bonus items are the Flame Serpent weapon chest, the Xingje Mosaic Cape, and the Prodigy of Xingje title. You will get all of those as soon as you pre-purchase, so you can start showing off some Canthan flair in-game right away.
It is in about 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Strangeness.
I'll stream till then.
Like a song, half remembered.
We'll do a big promotion today.
Without words to carry it. I know you, and yet I don't.
You will soon, little one.
Who are you talking to?
Just an echo in the mist. A possibility.
Look around us. Your children would be trapped in the past, if not for me. Their worlds are carved from the jade that I gave purpose. I promised them a future. A century of progress cannot end this way. I'm not... Cantha's not just a spoke in some grand cosmic wheel.
Would a great innovator give up so easily on that promised future?
I won't. I'll find a way to save us all.
Oh, man.
The future is out there. What are we waiting for?
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh man. Did anyone clip the Ooh, look at that. Did anyone clip the I can't remember what I was gonna say.